the bumblebees actually, I think I remember learning that like bumblebees don't sting? Is that right? Yeah, I don't think they can. I think it's only like the worker bees that like sting, right?
You like jazz?
Oh, they do? They don't sting, they bite. Oh, they bite instead. But like, do they die after they bite? I remember my first time, oh my god. Okay, let's wait for this to dry. But my first time ever getting stung by a bee, ironically, I wasn't even outside. It was so stupid. I was literally indoors. And it wasn't even like I was in a school setting. So I used to live in an apartment on like the 17th floor. Okay, so like that's 17 floors, okay? I just want you guys to just remember that fact. I lived in an apartment where I was on the 17th floor, okay? And I was doing my piano lessons. I was 3 years old. My mom was behind me doing the strict thing, you know, being like, okay, one more time. You know, like the scale. And, you know, then I took a break. So I don't know what I did. I think so I was stretching and yawning. And you know how like when you stretch, you put your arms behind you? So after that, after I stretched, I put my hands on like, behind my piano used to be like my parents' bed. So I put my hands on the railing of my parents' bed. And I just hear this buzzing sound. All I hear is bzz, and I was like, what the fuck? You know, as a kid. But of course I didn't say that because I didn't know what fuck meant. So I was like, what? And then I didn't even see the bee. I just like felt it and I heard it. And then like after maybe a minute, it stung me right on this thumb on the side. And it was so painful, okay? My thumb started swelling. And this is my first time getting stung by a bee on the 17th floor indoors. So I just want you guys to know, like, all my life I've been pretty cursed. Like, you'd think that you'd get stung outside, you know, during recess. Or at least if you're indoors, it's gonna be like in a school because they keep the windows open and we're on ground floor. But no, I was on the 17th floor doing piano practice and decided to take a little stretch, and I literally got that was my first ever bee sting. I don't know why. To this day I'm still like, bro, that bee that came was like, he was out to get me. The bee was tempted by your smell. You're right though. But yeah, so I didn't even see like the bee. And then afterwards, you know how like usually the normal bees, like when they sting you, they die? So afterwards, my mom found the bee on the floor. It died. And, you know, I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, it was a bee. Like, I didn't do anything. And my mom's just like, oh, it probably came in by the window by accident. And I was like, but we live on the 17th floor. But yeah, that was my first time getting stung by a bee. The second time? Oh, actually, that might have been my only time. So it was my first and only time. After that, I never got stung by a bee. Because I remember my teacher would tell us, oh, if a bee ever gets close to you guys, just don't move and let it like, you know, fly around you. So ever since like my teacher told me that, in school I would like always freeze, and I would tell the other kids to stop moving every time there's a bee. You know how during like recess there'd be like a lot of insects, and you know, kids run around and kids get sweaty, and like insects kind of get attracted to sweat like you guys. so like every time, you know, there's a bee that was around us, like all of my kids would be like, all my kids, what the fuck? All of the kids would be like, oh my god, there's a bee! And they'd start like screaming and running away. And then I was like, I would kind of be like that, sort of, how would you say? Like, I would sort of be like the leader in a sense, where I'm like, guys, don't move! remember Miss Jenkins said that if a bee comes around us, you can't move, otherwise you're scared and they'll sting you. So then all the kids sort of listen, and like this one bee would just be like circuiting around us for like at least a good 20 minutes. I don't know why, but like they tell you not to move, but at the same time, if you don't move, they actually just like stay on you, you know? They just like stay on your body, and they're just like crawling around and being like la 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 because they think you're a fucking tree. So one time this bee was on me for like 20 minutes. Like, you know how like recess is only like 30 minutes? So basically for the entire recess, I'm just standing there and the bee was on me. And since the other kids were seeing that the bee wasn't like on them, they like, you know, start moving and running off and being like, okay, when the bee is off, we'll catch you later, okay? And I'm just like standing there, like not moving 1 inch. And this bee just won't get off me. Like, I remember like the lunch lady. So we had like these lunch ladies who would sort of like monitor the kids during recess. And we were supposed to go back in because class was starting. And this bee was still on me. I'm literally just standing there. I wasn't even exaggerating. I was so serious about like, you know, teachers' rules and stuff that if my teacher said like, Enna, stand up against the wall for, I don't know, 45 minutes, I would literally do that. You know, I was that kind of kid. So yeah, I remembered what she said, so I literally stood there for like 20 minutes. And the lunch lady was like, Enna, you have to go line up because class is starting. And I'm like, I can't, miss. And she's like, why? And I was like, there's a bee on my arm, and if I move, it's gonna sting me. And I remember the lunch lady, she was such a Chad. She saw that the bee was on my arm, and then she just like did this. So pretend this is the bee on my arm, okay? All she did was like, shoo. And then she's like, here you go, it flew away. And I'm like, and after that, to be honest, I think I just became a rebel. I'm just like, what the fuck? I hate adults. They tell me not to move, and then another adult tells me something else. You know what? Tired of your shit. So, yeah. Literally, I spent an entire 20 to 25 minutes standing there because I thought if I didn't move, the bee would go away. But it didn't. It didn't go away at all. Okay, guys.